Oh, yes. Okay. So
Okay.
I think I'm gonna share again this link to our
Okay.
Facebook group. So let me check first. I'm not sure if he can join again or not. Ah, my computer. I think too much windows. I need to delete. Mm.
We can see everything because you are sharing your screen.
Yeah, yeah. Guys. Ah. Anyway, guys, you can continue. I'll keep talking. I'm just quick.
Okay. Okay.
Uh.
Okay. I don't know if should we move on to the second rule, but now I can minimize this. Okay. The second one, you guys were talking about when I came, is perception creates reality. So why don't we start with Anastasia because she wasn't here?
Um, Perception created reality. Um, yes, I think that um, we have to introduce not our personal things, but maybe our image for each of people, for all of people, because it's so important. It makes us more. I don't know. Can I say capable? I'm not sure about this word, but it can give us more opportunities. In this case, it's so important. For example, interview when you go to your work. If you wanna get a good job, you have to introduce yourself to show them a presentation. It's not about, for example, you can be a bit nervous or a bit aggressive originally, but in this interview, you have to be, I'm not sure about this word shy, but like the best image that you have. I think it's in our world, maybe modern world, it's the most important picture. Even in social medias, the picture is like the best. Even hotels. For example, if they create a site, they usually make the best pictures because people you can see only pictures, and because of this, it's really depend on if you take a clients or not. I think in this
Y-
case.
Yeah, I think it's like it depends how are we, what are we showing from ourselves to others, how
Yes.
can they perceive us, and that's not necessarily the truth, but that is how they see us, and we can't change that actually.
Yes. Yes. Even it's so strange, but I watched a special show. It was about Instagram. Maybe you know these girls who usually publish like beautiful
Yeah.
pictures. And this statistic that if you have, I don't know, more followers in your Instagram, your personal life it's so bad. It's like opposite. It's usually if people have really good Instagram, like sometimes it's gonna be so bad originally. I just read about it. It's really interesting, but it was my opinion. But
Yeah.
but it's really a difficult question, I think. But now it's so popular. It's like the most important detail picture. It's
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah, I don't know, Tom, do you have anything to add to it?
It is interesting what Anastasia said because it comes to my mind that these celebrities, which are followed by millions of people, their relationships are always very often sucks, and they are divorcing many times, and there's something true in that what she said, that many followers doesn't mean that you are good in that your life is good quality life, that you have right goals set for the future. And this video, I perceived some of the advices for this actor as if this actor was a website, as if he was a website which should be promoted in Google. So I dealt sometimes with positioning of websites. So I know that the more links you have, the better. The more content you have, the better. The more people you know, the better. And it is this advice for this actor was like to, if you know how to position a website, you should know how to position yourself in your real life. It was very interesting because this advice was according to the modern standards, to the technology, to the devices which are present in our life. And this advice was good for promoting website, but this website could be not very good, not very worth looking, and so the actor couldn't be the quality of this person is not the most important, not most influential thing in promoting, because the most important is how many people you know and who you know, and what they are talking about you, and if they are talking about you at all, it is the most important. So it was like in this Machiavelli advice, your presentation is the most valuable thing you have. Your not presentation, but your
Perception. Perception.
so
Perception.
perception. Yeah, perception. It is the most important thing you have, and it struck me how false this value is, because obviously how you are perceived by the other people is not most important value that you must take care of. There are the other values more important, but if you want to make a career, of course, the perception of other people is the most important.
I think your comment was a great segue to the next rule: do things to be remembered, because
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I have been reading about like how to position yourself, like how you said on the internet in this modern world. The internet is the world because we live in a city or something, but we are not limited or bound to where we live. We can be present everywhere if we want to. You know? So it's like the advice is like see ourselves as a brand, as you said, as a company. So that doesn't mean that you don't have to be authentic, that you have to pretend or show something like you are an Instagram model, like Anastasia said. But yeah, and do things to be remembered, because it's not how about how many people you know, but how many people know you, right? So yeah, do things to be remembered. That's the third rule.
Mm-hmm.
So who wants to go first?
Oh yes. Okay, guys. Let me. Oh,
Mhm.
what? What number now? Number two. Two principal.
Number three.
Number two, right?
You can,
Number
yeah, two or
two.
Oh,
three.
hello,
Hey,
Vivian.
Hello,
Vivian.
Vivian. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Hi.
welcome to our live. Because I asked
Thanks.
her,
Great.
because she will be our fourth task giver, and then she think, huh? I don't have any
Ah,
idea.
you know, we talked about this like before the challenge
Uh-uh.
began, and so I had completely forgotten about it. But I was gonna ask you, um, because I have never been a test giver before, so
Uh-uh.
I don't know, how is it? How does it work? You give me what kind of test do you want, or I choose whatever I
You
want.
can choose your own. You can choose whatever you want. Yes, you think that it's helpful for us, to our group.
And when I'm going to be when is it the test?
You will, I think next week. Frank, is that your last?
No, this is my second one, and on
Third one.
Monday I'm posting the third one, and the next one is the last one.
Last,
Oh,
right?
okay,
So after that one, you're next.
oh, so I have some
You have
time
2
to
weeks
think.
to prepare. It's plenty of
Yeah,
time.
I had some time to think about. Hey, Anastasia, nice to see you here.
Nice to see you. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah,
to see
yeah.
you.
So we're talking about. So have you read the article? Was that Frank Tass?
Yes, of course. I was doing my homework. See?
Wow.
Yeah.
She's very studious, guys. She loves writing. I think you can share your challenge, how to practice our writing. At the same time, you ask a lot of questions for our live weekly meetup, so we can also practice our writing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because you love
Well,
writing.
no, it's not that I love. It's just
Uh-huh.
because I like to be prepared. For example, if I don't have time to see what the task is, what the topic is about, I feel embarrassed to show up because I didn't do anything. And I think it's a good way for us to
Prepare.
learn new vocabulary and, you know, have a better idea of the subject they're talking about. And
Yeah.
so I like to prepare in advance. Otherwise, I feel like lost, or sometimes I go blank. So that's why I like to write everything, because I go blank very often if I don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, since you are you haven't joined us for a long time, maybe you can talk first before I will share my opinions about the second principle.
Okay, the
So
second
what is
is
let's go back
perception
to
creates reality.
let's go back to the first one. First principle.
Oh,
The world.
meritocracy.
Yeah.
Meritocracy. Yeah, I think the last point that he did is just to explain the first one. So yeah, the first one, I think that I agree with him, because I think you need much more than just merit to get a job or get something. You know, if you have talent, that's great. But if you strive to do so, and if you have something that you can do differently, it's also very important, and you need to be dedicated. So the first one talked about yeah. Yeah, he says that merit is only one facet of getting the part of making it. You need some other things to get a participation in something, in a role or whatever job you have. So talent is not just the main point. You need to have all the abilities to achieve what you want. Right, Frank?
Right? Exactly.
I need to talk to you afterwards, so you can give me an idea how I'm gonna do my task.
Great, of course. Yeah, we discussed this already, the first principle, and we just discussed the second one. What do you want to, what you have to add to that one? To
Yeah.
perception creates reality.
Yeah, I think every person has a unique personality, and that's what differs one person from another. And I think we all have qualities, and if you can show that, in a good way, you can um, be more seen.
Yeah.
You have
It's,
your
it's
unique value.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's like how we were discussing, how other people actually see you. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily how you are, but maybe you have to do something extra to be.
Actually, I think we have like three kinds of perception. We have the perception that we see ourselves. There is the perception of how people see you. And the third one is how you think people see you.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So there are three kinds of perceptions. And I oftentimes I realize that the way people see you is not the way you think they see you.
Hmm. Exactly. So Adeline, are you back?
Yeah, yeah. Perception, guys. For me, what I understand this perception creates reality. So, based on my understanding, that if you think positive, so the result also positive. Is that right? Or I'm out of topic again? Because I I already make made my video. I posted to the group. This is how I
Mhm.
talk. So in my opinion, perception, if your belief, if you believe that something wrong will be happen, then yeah, it's maybe something wrong will be happen. But if you think positive, so also positive uh, will be happen in the future. Like for example, if you want to become successful in the future, if you think that in 5 years from now I will become rich, or I'll become fluent in English, so your mindset also reflects to your action. So you are working harder to become successful in your life. Or if you want to become fluent in English, you're working, or no, no, I mean, you're studying very hard to get your fluency. So that's my opinion, guys. So if you think
Mhm.
positive, so positive also the result. But if you think negative, so the result also negative. So that is my understanding about this perception creates reality.
Yeah,
So
I think that's one of the points. Yeah.
is it uh makes sense, guys?
Well, it makes sense. Yeah, of course.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, of course, it makes sense. But the thing about perception is how are you perceived or seen by other people.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
So for instance, if you are the boss of the company, like the CEO,
Mm-mm.
and no one knows you, and you show up into a meeting, no one knows that you are the CEO, and you go to normal in like your gym clothes.
Your
People
ordinary
are
people.
people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, people are gonna think like, okay, who is this girl? Why is this? Who is? Who do
This
she
man.
thinks he is? I
Mm-mm.
mean, coming to that meeting like that. I mean, then you start talking and they notice that you are the CEO, but they have this perception you're different, and that is just an example. And it's he used an example. He uses an example on this Brazilian guy that he worked in a company and he helped other people. He was involved in many other projects until the big guys noticed them and perceived that he was, you know, and they let him become the CEO or something, I think.
Mm-mm.
So
Yeah,
it's like, mhm, yeah.
no, no, go ahead. I
Ah,
heard you
okay.
had finished. Now, I was just gonna say that that's the difference between someone who is a leader and someone who isn't. Because, like he says here, everyone sees what you appear to be, but a few people can really see what you are. So appearance is one thing, and what is deep inside is another thing. So some people that can see beyond that appearance, they have more, they're more likely to be successful because they can see more than other people see.
All right. What about the third principle? Do things to be remembered.
Yes, you have
Yeah.
to do things to be remarkable. So
Mm-hmm.
people recognize you. They will remember you in good way, not in bad things. So, like for example, if you are working in an organization, if you really want to get a higher position, then do something different that remarkable to your boss, uh, to the highest position in the company. So you will be promoted in the future in your career. So yeah, this is my opinion. Do something different, not always doing the same thing every day with a same uh, task. Try to do some research what you can contribute to the company to become successful. So you will be remarkable to your boss or to the other team. So they can vote you. Oh, he is a good leader. So we can vote him to be a CEO in the future. So yeah, this is my opinion, guys. How about you?
I have an example taken from literature. I don't know the name of the book because I forgot it. It was a situation. It was a beginning writer. It was an unknown, completely unknown writer, and he intentionally make such a action. He every day went to the. He used to go to the restaurant and he ordered very nasty meal. It was so nasty that no one couldn't eat it because it was so nasty. It was a meal specially invented by him, mixture of something. I don't remember what it was, and he used to go to this restaurant every day, and he used to eat this meal every day, and he didn't like this meal also. It was nasty to him, but he was remembered as this guy who used to this restaurant every day, and he was associated with this meal and with this situation, and he was talked about in the city. Oh, this is the restaurant when this restaurant when where this man is going, this freak, this strange
Element.
man, and he was known by this action, and he was talked about, and he
Became
in the
famous.
end he was famous because he was known and he was talked about.
Because
It was
he
fun.
done
It is
something
a good example
ridiculous.
how to create situation
Was
to
he
make interest about
was he
you.
the owner of the restaurant?
No, he was ordinary client. He was a client,
But
and
what was the
he
purpose of that? Why did he do that for?
to promote himself.
Ah,
It
he
was the
wanted to
reason.
be well
Be
known in the
famous.
city.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
To be
Okay.
So he
remarkable to
suffered
the
for a
citizen.
month or longer by eating this nasty meal, and the idea, the goal was to promote himself.
He did. He did a good job. This nasty food.
Yeah, yeah.
Jermaine, what do you think?
Yeah, so we are talking point number three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have mentioned about because when I work, what do you want people remember you for? You have to answer the question. What do you want people to remember you for? Just Tom give an example. He's saying that the man do something exaggerate, very dramatic, so that people can remember him. But what do people remember him for? Maybe this people remember him as a freak or a clear guy. So maybe he really don't get the interest of this or got any advantage from it. So for me, my experience is when you want people to remember you, you have to connect with their emotions. What do you mean by connect with the emotion? That means you share with them their um, their joyful moment or depressive moments. That's what I do. So if I was invited to a dinner or for funeral or whatever people invited me, whether it's in a very pleasant time or a very depressive moment, I would like to go because I would like to connect with people at those moments so
Mm-hmm.
that people can remember me.
Mm-mm.
So if I'm not doing those dramatic things to make people remember you. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that one is useful.
Yes, I agree with you. Like this time, it's quarantine, so there are many people suffer because they lost their jobs, so they don't have money or food. So if you are rich man, so you can share your blessings to the charity, so you will be remarkable to the citizens. Why not? So do something
Yeah,
good to be remarkable in a good way, not in a bad way. How about
that's
Anastasia?
true.
Yes, I remind interesting story after the answer of Thomas for the second question. Can I tell you if you don't mind? Like, yes, one very rich person decided to take experiment. It's like about a restaurant. To go to the so expensive restaurant for special for special kind of people. Um, but he decided to choose to change his clothes, like to look like a person without home, without house, something like this,
Like a
with
homeless.
special smell.
Homeless.
Yes, homeless. Yes,
Mm, mm,
with
mm,
special smell, and he looks like amazing, right? And waiter decided to tell him, sir, unfortunately, you can't go into this restaurant because it's a bit uh, could be a bit confused. I'm a human, something like this. He started to explain a lot of things that he has a lot of rights to go to the restaurant because he's I don't know, can I say he lives in this country, something like this. And waiter was in a shock because he couldn't find good words to explain to this person because this person was so aggressive. And maybe 15 minutes later, this businessman returned to this restaurant, but with so expensive car, like different clothes, and told, okay, can you help me with my car? This waiter, oh yeah, okay, mister, please go there. And he decided to remind him, I was this guy that you told me I can't go to this restaurant, something like this. Yes, it's happened. I don't know what country, maybe USA, and this is about image and picture.
Yeah,
It's
well, this
we
has
can't
happened here too. They did that once, but I don't think the waiter is wrong. I mean, if a guy,
Yes,
if yeah,
yes,
of course, because we live in a world that appearance counts. You cannot be hypocritical to say that it doesn't count
yes,
because if you go dirty, stinking like this guy, of course
yes,
he could not enter the restaurant. I wouldn't like to be sitting by a person like that.
yes,
And so people do this kind of experiment here too. But
yes,
no, just
yes,
to see how people are kind and all that. But well, I think we need to be real. Like if someone goes, some people say, "Oh, what you have to look is what the person has inside and not the appearance." But I don't agree with that because you need to be well dressed, clean. I mean, you didn't be fancy, but you need to be clean and all that because we live in a society and we are not supposed to look like homeless, of course.
yes.
Right.
This sort of
Completely agree with
social
you.
like a beggar.
A beggar,
Yes,
yeah, a
yes.
beggar.
the
Mm-mm-mm.
social manner required from us.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Acceptable. There are social manner acceptable common to us for all of us. Social manner. I think
Oh
dress
yeah, sure.
dress is kind of social manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anastasia, what about the number
yes,
three?
yes, exactly. I think a lot of celebrities right now decided to go to YouTube. For example, other examples. For example, journalists. I mean Russian, of course. one interesting celebrity. She makes a hype of negative reaction. It's like something like this. Yes, a lot of aggressive interviews, rude words, something like this. But now our generation completely changed in social medias, like famous people, and she decided to save her famous, I'm not sure, popular, and she went to to YouTube. And now, for example, she created her YouTube channel with really interesting interviews. She take only new, I don't know, new news with so famous young singers, for example, not with older or her friends. No, only with so famous people for right now.
Mm-hmm.
She just changed her specialty a bit, but it's like a way to, I don't know, to be remembered, because even her friend asked her why you don't wanna take my interview, or for example of this singer, you familiar with him, he is your close friends, because for me it's very important, a rating. I'm not sure this word in English, rating. It's like, no, it's not. It's like about, for example, when people watch your YouTube channel. It's like
The
kind
More
of,
view.
maybe it's like to be I don't know, can I say to be one of the popular people on
to go
YouTube,
viral.
something.
The viewers.
To go viral, yeah.
To go
Yes,
viral, right?
something like this.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
exactly.
When you go viral, you get a lot of views. There
And a
are
lot of
many.
money too.
Yes. When your video go viral, then you can get a lot of views and you can earn a lot of money in your
Yeah.
video.
Yes,
I know that one because
yes,
I'm a
exactly.
YouTuber.
Yeah.
So you are going to learn a lot of money soon.
Yeah, soon.
uh, no, not yet. Because you first should be monetized. Because
Mhm.
you should get the, no, no, you should achieve the YouTube threshold. At least you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000
Mhm.
watch hours. And then when you reach that threshold, your YouTube, you're out of topic now. It's you will be monetized and to become a YouTube partner. Then
Okay. How many subscribers do you have so far?
so far I have 3,000 plus.
Wow, that's good. How
Oh,
about how about you, Frank?
uh,
No, and YouTube? No, I'm not
Yeah.
on YouTube yet.
Oh no, no, you
not
only
yet,
have
not yet.
podcast, right? Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
podcast.
But I haven't monetized yet because I need to reach the 4K watch hours, 4,000 watch
Uh-huh.
hour. So when I reach that one, my videos will be when you watch video, there is always advertisement pop up, and then you should
Mm-hmm.
not skip that one. So from ads, I can earn money. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's one. Sorry.
But about advertising, I know we are out of topic. About advertising, can you choose
No, no,
what
no.
kind of
The YouTube will put advertisement, any advertisement in your video. So when the
They
viewers
choose.
click your video, there is always advertisement. So if you want me to earn money, don't skip my ad. Yes, because
wow?
most of the viewers, they don't like to batter by ads. They're always skip ad, skip ad.
Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm. But it's
I
really
feel bad
helpful.
now.
Mm-mm.
Oh, so when do we skip ads? The person doesn't get the
When
money from it?
yes, yes,
Oh,
the
really?
YouTuber cannot earn money if you skip the ads.
Because
Wow.
everybody skips that the
Yeah.
ads.
Yes, yeah. So at least
it's very
prevent.
annoying.
Yeah, Yeah, yeah. At least 3 minutes. You just let 3 minutes play the ads, and then you can skip. 3 minutes, 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. The YouTuber can earn money
So
for
next
that.
time when there's advertisement, I better go to the toilet. It's toilet break, bathroom break.
According to the minutes, we have 2 minutes left.
Oh,
No, no,
really?
no.
No, no,
We
no.
don't have
We are
that.
more interested to know about YouTube, how the life of a YouTuber, rather than discussion.
We're out of our topic.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I don't think we are gonna have a problem with time now.
yeah, yeah.
I
See,
mean,
because there's no, yeah, sign that we are going to reconnect. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I just want to
continuously.
say something about the third thing,
yeah. Okay.
do things to be remembered. I thought it was very interesting when he said about the guy who got the play to got the role for Spider-Man, and he said just because he did a backflip, he got the attention of the directors and so I think sometimes it doesn't need to be a big thing, just because some people know some kind of a skill, so it makes a difference. Everything we learn, sometimes we say, "Oh, I'm never gonna use that," and so someday, somehow, you're gonna. This is going to be very helpful. For example, like this guy, I bet he never thought that because he knew how to do this backflip, he would, you know, be considered for the job, for the role.
Yeah, it's like he said. That there were many actors really talented and really the same age.
200, uh-huh.
He had to do something extra.
Yeah, and he
Sometimes
did just a simple thing. Like for him, maybe it was nothing, but he got the role because of that.
I think sometimes we are just used to do like the minimum effort or the right amount of things to get what we need, but we never consider to do something additional, something extra, or something more challenging or something for us. And I think at the same time, some people are just doing doing weird things to go viral,
Mm-hmm.
to get the attention of people. And I guess I don't know. It depends on how do you want to be remembered. Like Jermaine said, if you want to be remembered as a freak, or you want to be remembered as someone who actually helps, who's helping, or something like that, or someone who can do a backflip.
Mm-hmm. But I remember that podcast. I think it was a podcast about on the other challenge that you chose about the guy that has. I think he was talking about multitasking person,
Uh-huh.
and he said that it's very interesting when you get interested in other things, out of your field, and then you can have more ideas, you can learn things that maybe there's nothing to do with your real job, what you're doing right now, but it's good to have this mindset to learn new things, and eventually this may help you somehow.
And just to finish this on this principle, that reminded me something Gary Vee said, a video that Gary Vee released yesterday about how he wanted to build the tallest building in town. If you want to build the tallest building in town, you have two choices. You just build it, or you just can build a regular
Oh,
size building and destroy other buildings. So yours is the biggest one. So
ah,
how are you gonna be remembered? Like the one who built the biggest one, or the one who tear the other buildings down? So yours can
for
be,
you to be the biggest, for yours
yeah,
to be the biggest. Yeah.
right. All right. Now the fourth one: execute key result areas with speed. This is interesting.
Yeah, of course. That's what makes someone different from the other, to have more ability to do something
To do something quickly.
quickly. Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
that's
Yeah.
make a huge difference in any field that you work.
All right. Thomas, what do you think?
I don't have any special things to say about
Mm-hmm.
this because it's pretty obvious. In my country, there is a saying: the one who gives quickly, he gives 2 times more than the one who gives later. So it is pretty obvious for me. And if you act rapidly, if you act instantly, you are ahead of the others, and you can benefit additionally. You can develop yourself earlier before the other even orientate themselves that something is going on. So it's like that.
True.
Okay.
Yes, do not procrastinate.
Procrastinate. That's the word of the moment. That's the word of the moment.
Yeah,
Procrastinate.
yeah. Do not delay. If you can do it now, then make an action. Do not let it. Oh no, we call this. We have this term in the Philippines. I forgot. Mm, always delay, delay, delay. If you can do
If you
it now,
can,
Mañana, mañana,
oh
mañana,
no
mañana.
no.
mañana, mañana
If you
habit.
can, if you can do it today, not let to do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes,
Something like that,
exactly.
right? If you can do it today, don't do it tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah, that he
And
said an interesting phrase here that says speed is a measurement of power. I think what you said is one of the points, like do not procrastinate. But another thing is the ability to do it faster.
Mm, 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 mm. Yes, because sometimes also, guys, you have to think because you are very rush all the time. You have to do it right away without thinking or planning. It might also cause a problem in the future. So you have to make
Mm-hmm.
also plan a good plan at the same times your action also.
To
So,
do well
uh,
done. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
yeah,
But
that's.
sometimes I have an idea. But sometimes to delay is another strategies.
Mm, mm, mm.
It's a strategies
Yeah,
for
try to figure out
um
any
yeah
strategy.
to bargain with your boss. If you delay something, sometimes it's a bargain because you will notice that nobody can do it except you. So because those people with less ability, they do first, they do not produce a good results. So your boss will know that, oh, the latest will be the best. So you will still got a special eye on you. So sometimes delay is a strategy. It
Mm-hmm.
depends. Of course, it depends on the situation.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree with you, Jermaine.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it depends the situation. So we have also to delay if there's something happens. So we have to postpone in the later time. For example, there is a typhoon. Supposed to be you're going to fly your flight. If there is a huge typhoon, there is a snowstorm. So much better to delay to avoid any accident.
Yeah, of
That's true.
course. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. How about Anastasia?
Mhm.
I completely agree with you. Um, yes, honestly, if you know your plan, you you can't delay it for another day. You just have to do it right now. For example, I practice one thing. I usually write on the paper. It's so important to write on the paper my goals and the date, the the last date. For example, I give myself maybe 3 months to achieve this goal, and after that, I just ask Universal maybe to help me, and it's really work. It's really work. The most important thing is to write it on the paper because you just fix it on your mind, and step by step, you don't think, you just forget, but you achieve it. You really work on this problem. For example, in November last year, I wrote that, okay, um, until April, I have to speak English for this. What is my name and where I am? Like something, these phrases. And Universal, I don't know, can I say, gave me this challenge. English full time, and I started to speak. And
Great. And you speak
yes,
greatly.
So you have your
thanks.
target, a specific time. So 2 years from
Yes,
now, I have to speak like a native speaker. So you have to study every
yes,
single day. Do not
yes,
delay.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. For example, I want to achieve, for example, B2 until September, and I have to write it on the paper, not on my phone, on the paper with
Mm-hmm.
my hand. It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for me, it's work with a lot of cases.
But
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about doctors and psychiatrists and all that. And they say that when you write, if you have some right-handed, and
Yeah.
you are more likely to memorize what you're writing. It's better for your brain. I'm studying some how the brain works and all that. And he said that if you visualize what you want in the future, like you said, you write it down, you write down your goals, and you visualize you are getting what you want, and then the world conspires in your favor because you want
We have
that,
a
and
we may say that we has a better registration in your brain. So
yeah,
better
that's true.
registration in your mind.
In your brain, in your mind, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Some
Yeah, me
kind of
too,
things
guys.
to work with energy.
Uh-uh.
Oh, sorry.
I also agree with this, guys, because sometimes when I study my online classes, when I just keep reading without writing, I cannot remember what I'm studying. Later on, I forgot. So when I write
Uh-huh.
or take note something, it's easy for me to remember. So it's
Yeah,
really work
me
if
too.
you are writing at the same time you're reading or something. So writing,
Yes.
it's very effective to remember.
To memorize, yeah. That's
Uh-uh.
why I like to do that. I write down everything because that's the way I like
Yes.
to study. Even when I wasn't studying English, I was in school, normal school. I always study like that, writing. If I read a book, I would write the main topics, and so that's a good way because then you see and you write, so it's much easier to learn.
And then
By
you
the way,
can
it's an
review.
occasion to activate your writing because there is no more many occasion in real life to write something
That
because we use
yeah.
computers
Now
all
with
the time.
computer, nobody writes anymore.
Yes, all the time you can search the internet any information. If you are searching something, you can just click in the internet and then it show up on you, and then yeah, you don't need to write or take notes.
Yeah, even when they write on the computer. So if they don't have notebooks or anything like
Yeah,
that.
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I use the voice to text apps to transfer the meeting notes, the minutes into the text. So I don't need to write. So it is
Hmm.
fast and
Yeah,
very effective. So
yeah,
immediately I can leave the meeting, then I already send the minutes to my boss. So it's quick.
yeah. It's helpful in some points, but on the other hand, I think it makes us a little bit lazy, in terms of learning
I,
new things.
I have
Yes.
a task, Vivian, for you because I wonder what it is like with these electronic notepads when you use the electronic pencil and you write on the table, but it is not real writing but artificial writing,
I know.
And
No,
what
they
is
will
this?
no
What is?
some technology can change your writing into words, typing words, letters. That means you scribble on the phone, but it change into the characters, the
Oh,
letters.
okay. But it is interesting for me if this type of writing, this electronic writing, works the same way. Is it so effective for memorizing like ordinary writing?
Um, I don't think you have a better memory about it, but it's more efficient so that you don't need to remember to finish this task because once you leave the meeting, you already finish your jotting the minutes or making a report. So you save your effort, save your time. So in some sense, the technology really helps to save your time. But of course, you are saying that it will improve your memory. That is another issue. I don't need the task to improve my memory. I just need task to help me finish the work.
Yeah, I think this principle about executing key result areas with speed is like, I think it's related with what I was mentioning earlier about if you see yourself as a brand or something, if you want to be remembered, you can be like the best in your area. But there's always someone who's gonna be as good as you are, and that person is gonna make the things quicker and it's gonna be more effective. So you have to make sure to stay on top on your top level and do things in a good way, the best way possible, and the
Mhm.
fastest way possible as
Mhm.
well.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's
it.
true.
That's the
And
basic thing.
yeah, and the last one is choose perceived competence over likability.
Competence.
Mhm.
Yeah, you just said it. I think it's just complete what you just said. You need to be competent
Mm-mm.
and fast the same way,
Rather than your
rather than just
personal appearance.
likability.
Because
I
Mm,
mean,
some people got promoted because they are very charismatic and they're very good looking or handsome or whatever. So they got promoted in their career. But being competent is much vital to become successful in your career, especially in Korea, because most teacher or most our hagwons, a private academy owner, they love to hire teacher who has white, and even though they are not really intelligent, but they are white and white hair like Anastasia, they really love it.
blonde, blonde.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you would be very successful in Korea, Anastasia.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
because
think
you, you know what, guys?
it's perception.
Yeah, yeah. People, especially parents, they love to look up the teacher who has white skin and long nose.
Caucasians.
Yeah, yeah. Like American,
Caucasians.
like Anastasia. If you apply as a teacher here, you can hire easily. You can get job
great.
easily. Mm-mm. So much better.
Okay.
Mm-mm. For me, competence is much important to become successful, but it depends also the people, like you said, guys, perception. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
think
But this
competence speaks louder.
Yes, exactly.
But this rule is for the perceived competence, not for real competence, but perceived competence.
Uh-huh.
So it is variation on the of the rule fear over love, because it was advised for the kings for the rulers that the optimal situation, the best situation for the king was where the citizens both loved him and fear him. Uh, and it is nearly impossible to create such situation, fear and love. So it is better when the fear is the first. And
Mhm.
what is the solution of this situation, to be loved and feared in the same time? The solution was to create some divine characteristic in yourself,
Hmm.
to be like a god, because God is the only person which is loved and feared at the same time. So it was
See?
advised for the rulers to be as a king, to have to obtain some divine characteristics, and it was like that. And I can see, for example, that when the Steve Jobs lived, he created himself as a god of IT, a god of
Apple.
electronic devices, the
Mm-mm-mm.
best one
Phone.
man in the world who can invent something, who can invent the best thing, and he was a kind of god of electronics, kind of god of gadgets, and this image enabled him to be not so competent, because didn't invented himself anything because he had employees which worked for his image, and he was only a good seller. He could sell something because he created himself as a divine IT specialist, near God. He can do everything. He can invent something very super, which is wanted, the product which is wanted for all over the world. So it is good example for me, this rule that create image that you are nearly like a god. You are special. You are such good specialist that you have not even your foot not going on the ground. You are in the sky. It is impossible for the ordinary people to be in contact with you because you are so good, so impossible to connect.
Yeah, I think you said a good point about in the past. Back then, people reign according to the fear. They made people to fear them, and that's how they got power because people fear them. But nowadays, we cannot apply this anymore because people don't buy that idea anymore. So now we need to show competence, or at least sell this image, as you said, of competence somehow. Good point.
Yeah, some some countries still do that. So it depends if they are dictatorships, like North Korea, for instance. They
Mhm.
they they have the same traits. If you do something wrong, you can go to jail or be killed, executed.
Yeah, that's true.
And before I forget, the Tom talk about Steve Jobs, and he applied that principle with his employees, the fear of the love thing, because he pushed them so much to be efficient on their jobs, and they actually fear them. And some people say that he was like a really really mean person with his employees, and his employees, well, they try to do their best because they know they could be fired or insulted or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's
That's
trying.
not right. I don't think that's the right approach to deal with your employees or
Yeah,
with
that's
anyone.
He's.
oh,
But yeah,
that's true.
Mm-mm.
It
I
Trying.
didn't know
happens.
about that about
yeah,
Steve Jobs. He seemed to be so intelligent and so cool. I mean, a nice
Yeah,
person.
I
trying
don't know
to.
about his story, his
I
personal
never
story.
thought.
Mhm. Trying to get leverage over his employee because he has power. So if his employee don't follow him, then you might get
You're
fired.
you're fired.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. How about Jermaine? Do you have
so
any
yeah, maybe.
additional?
Yeah, I have a question to ask. Do you think all this principle, can you guys think of any situation which this principle cannot be applied? Because at the beginning I talked about I agree with this principle. I think in the modern world there are still exist. But can you guys think about any environment, any situation in which this principle absolutely cannot be applied?
Let me think about it.
I cannot relate. Can you say it one more time, Jermaine? About
No,
this.
I'm
Can you?
thinking about.
Yeah, because
I
most
think
of that we agree that we this principle, even though you like it or not, even though you say it's manipulative, it's not fair, it's not justified, but still it's actually happening in our world. But can
Mm-mm.
you think about any situation which this principle absolutely cannot apply?
Well, I think Frank just gave an example of North Korea about the president. These principles cannot be applied. I mean, because um, he is a very backward person still, so he's still leading his population with fear and not with competence. In my opinion, that's a good example of that.
I think that all these Machiavelli rules can be applied with the success if the goal if the goal is honest, if the intentions are good, if the intentions are to make people happier, to make them comfortable, if you use these rules to obtain this effect, to help the people, to make them better situated, it's okay. But when your goal is to oppress the people, to make their life worse, it's not. These rules are becomes tools for oppressing people, and they are not moral. They are not good.
Yeah, true.
I think, Jermaine, like I don't know, looking at the all the principles like as a whole, like if there were like rules or something like that, I think, and the only environment that it can't be actually applied is like in a family environment or something like that. What do you think, Jermaine? Like if you have like a family, you have like 4 kids and your wife, for instance,
Yeah,
this this
I think yeah, exactly that's what I'm thinking. Because I just wonder for the last principle, can you the fear, can you apply to your child? You use ask them, make them fear about you, and then they will comply and then they will cooperate with you. Will you do that? Do you use this for parenting within your family? I just wonder. But for me, I definitely not. I believe that um, maybe use love or kindness or concerns is better than use coercion. This one is simply manipulate people by all sorts of mechanisms. So I just wonder maybe in the world there's another kind of philosophy in managing the world. Maybe they use concern, caring, love, sacrifice. Maybe that's are the better points to be used. Am I too unrealistic?
No, I think you were doing. I think you're talking right, because there are some points that this cannot be applied. But as I said, just if a person is too rude, it's not a civilized person. Um, a good example of that is those countries that people are so backward and they're not evolved, and so they are led by fear. And it's not because they love their leadership, it's just because they fear them, because if they do anything wrong, they can be killed or they can be, you know um, so I think in this case, but I think some parents do that, even though I don't think this is correct way to
I
say,
want to
because
tell a
nowadays.
story. I want to tell a story about Steve Jobs. Do you
Okay.
guys know that actually when before he became famous for the Apple, he got a girlfriend, and then the girlfriend with him broke up and then get together again for several times, and finally the girlfriend pregnant with a daughter. But Steve Jobs refused to recognize this daughter and then refused to give the child support for many years. And then the girlfriend was an artist, so she is very poor. Then she wanted to send the girl to school. And then Steve Jobs agreed to pay the child care because the girlfriend asked the court to make a DNA test for make sure to prove that the girl was really his daughter.
Mhm.
So Steve Jobs really was willing to pay the child support. And then for a period of time, he took the girl to live with him in his big mansion. But he refused the mother to visit the daughter, deny her rights to visit the daughter for half a year. So the girl and the mother is under a severe pain. But because the Steve Jobs agreed to let the girl get the money to go to for support her university education. So for that half year, both the girl and the mother was tortured. So I just wonder, maybe Steve Jobs is a similar person with manipulative behavior. He is manipulate the company and also manipulate this particular girl. So because I read the girl read her story. So that's what I'm thinking about when you guys mentioned about Steve Jobs and mentioned about whether this can be used in the family.
Okay, I have an interesting point to add here, but first I'm gonna let Anastasia speak.
Oh, last question. Thanks. I think that in we are really addicted to picture, and sometimes we don't think our brain don't think about maybe productive things. It's more about picture, but it's really depend on your task in some ways. For example, if you work like programmist, you can, I don't know, you can don't think about image, but if you want to sell something, it's your like the most important task to do. In this case, it's really depend of people. It's so depend on special situation. But I think a lot of people right now work online, and this part of things maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe 70% like the most important things in our world for right now. It's just my opinion, but even when I wanna go to another country, I have to choose a hotel, as I told before. I usually find a good picture the first time. The second time, if I wanna find, I don't know, maybe a person who can tell me about, I'm not sure, about museums or this city, I usually look at his appearance, like in South Korea, for example. It's really depend on this. Like ability, like the most important thing in our world. Even fruits or something like this, if it's more good for your health, but another look better. You look this, that you look better. It's it's really a kind of maybe of our human life. I'm not sure, you know, like our vision understanding maybe. And
Eileen, you're sharing your screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry because Naomi is supposed to join us, but
yes,
she can't.
exactly.
She can't
For example,
connect. Uh-huh. Continue. Continue,
yes,
Anastasia.
I have a good example. My mother has a so close friend who lives in Moscow, the capital of Russia, and he is very famous architect. He worked with the president. He built a church, like the main church in Russia, in Moscow. But recently, he had a difficult, such a difficult period in his life, and he looked strange a bit. He didn't think about image, and he decided to try his resource in new job, in new project. And another architect, it was a woman. She looked much better, but her portfolio was a bit worse than him. And director of this project decided to choose this woman only because of appearance,
Yes.
only because of this.
Because he wasn't sexist.
Maybe, yes, yes.
Yes.
This is kind of thing, in my opinion.
Actually, I think, well, I'm sure that these people, this kind of people, they have, I don't know the exact word, but someone that is in charge of their image. Then they tell this person how to dress, how to look like.
Mm-hmm.
depending of the image that you want to other people to perceive in this case.
Yeah.
Because yeah, but now before I forget, Germaine was we were talking about the choosing fear over love for your kids, for instance, and I was thinking, in case you have kids that maybe they are teenagers or something, and they are really they like to go to parties, and you want to protect your kids, right? So you want to maybe if you inspire fear over them, they know that if they do something wrong, you're gonna hit them. Just this is just an example. Okay, so they might comply with your orders, and that might work for a period of time, but for a long period of time in the long run, this is not sustainable, and they are gonna hate you in the end.
Yeah, so
So
they
fear,
learn that. Yeah, they
yeah,
will learn that the hitting is a way to solve the problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I never believed that violence. I would never believe that of hitting of violence can solve the problem.
Right, exactly. And about Steve Jobs, that made me remember well, Steve Jobs wasn't an artist. He was just like a good marketing guy. He was really a famous person. But there are people like artists like Bill Cosby, for instance, or Michael Jackson, and they are really great performers and artists. And in the end, it showed that things that they did, whether they were guilty or not. I think Bill Cosby were actually guilty or was what he did. I don't know if you guys and girls know who is Bill Cosby, but he is this famous comedian on the
Hmm.
80s, 90s, American, and everyone loved him. Everyone, oh, he's so kind. Because he made people laugh. And in the end of the day, like 5 years ago, with the Me Too movement, we found out that he was, uh, how can I say it?
Harvey
Well,
Weinstein, is it Harvey Weinstein? What Weinstein?
what?
Weinstein. The name of the guy is called Weinstein.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Bill
another one.
Cosby.
Bill
Bill, I'm
Cosby.
talking about
Yeah,
Bill
Bing
Cosby.
Bing Cosby. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he basically when he went to parties with other girls, he basically drugged them
Yes.
and raped them.
Yes.
And no
That
one
means he
said
create a
anything.
perception.
Yeah, no one said anything because it was Bill Cosby. It was their war against Bill Cosby. So yeah, it's like how do you separate the person from the artist, right? I mean, it's really hard.
Yes.
In the end of the day, you are the person and you are the artist as well. See, if you are a bad person, you can be the best artist, but no one,
Yeah,
right?
but there are some artists that they confuse things. They get advantage because they're famous, and then they start
Hmm.
doing this nasty thing. Like,
Hmm.
just because they're famous, they think they can do everything, and they can mistreat someone.
Yeah.
There was a pretty famous actor here in Brazil, and then he was married and he has a family and all that, and he was well known in this field of TV. And then one day he was hitting on a girl that she was like an employee of this TV, and she was working there like she was a cleaner or something like that. And then he just he wanted her to be with him, but she didn't want to. And then he screamed at her, and she, because usually these people don't have the courage to speak up, but she did. And she ruined his life, because after that everybody was so mad at him. Even the artists, they were so mad because he was like doing this kind of things. And so she ruined his life. But nowadays, people are having more courage to speak up, because in the past, they just would be silent because nobody would believe them and nothing would happen. But nowadays, people are not being so quiet anymore. Everybody's just speaking up and they want to be heard, and people are listening to them.
Yeah, that's an example of people misusing the power over other people, you
Yeah,
know.
sure.
Mhm.
That
So
happens
yeah.
a lot.
Well, I don't know. Anyone else has anything to add to this?
I have one small anecdote because just today I bumped up to the girl which told this her story how she looked for a job in the States. She was originally from Bulgaria and she hasn't any history of job. It was her first attempt to get a job, and she was in a small town in the suburb of USA, and in this town there was a custom that everyone should have a history. No one would be hired without any history of job. So no one wanted to hire her because she couldn't show that she worked before. So she was desperate, and she started to invent her history of working, and she lied that she worked in a famous hotel in Bulgaria, and the conversation was completely different. Oh, you have worked fine. What was the hotel? It was large or small, and she had to lie about this hotel. And after that, she got this job. And why I'm talking about this? Because this is about the next rule of the Machiavelli rule: know the rule of the game and use the rule on your for your benefits. So
Uh-huh.
she knew the rules which are in this business. She knew that she have to had a history of work before, so she created this history and she was succeed. So sometimes these rules are, of course, she didn't know about this rule, Machiavelli rule, because I was preparing this topic, so I knew this rule. I mentioned her that she used the Machiavelli rules, and she said, "Oh, I didn't know that," but it was a success.
So this
So
is this is the sixth rule. If you know the rules, you can break the rule.
yeah. So sometimes it's very beneficial for us if we know these rules. We can use it in real life.
How the system works. Uh-huh.
All right, guys. I think we finished for now. But I have 15 minutes that we can talk about this or about anything else before I have to leave. So, what do you say?
Tell us, Frank, about the new initiative. Are you tired or are you excited? What is more?
I can't be tired because it's just getting tired. But yeah, I'm really excited actually. Of course, it's gonna be
Adeline,
amazing.
you must unmute yourself.
It's the one. Yes,
Oh
guys.
yeah.
I I watch that you are going to launch a new project with
Hmm.
Ravaka. So is
Hmm.
that only for the 14 days challenge? 14
Uh-huh.
two
Right,
weeks challenge?
2 weeks.
Ah,
Yeah,
2 weeks. Oh, why just only 2 weeks? I wonder.
because we wanted to make it shorter on purpose. It's like because it's not only about the challenge in the end of the day. The challenge is like the beginning. The community will remain. And besides, in July, there's coming a new challenge from Stephanie. So I know
Oh.
people are going to be joining. So we also might be joining as well. So it's like,
Oh my gosh, it's almost July already. Ah, that
yeah,
passed so fast.
yeah.
So are you going to join another breakthrough challenge with Stephanie? I think
Oh,
I
uh,
oh.
mean,
Mm.
I'm thinking about it. I'm seriously considering
uh,
to
Uh,
join you.
Guys, I think it's a FOMO syndrome. It's a FOMO syndrome between us. We must be
Yeah, FOMO.
present at each challenge because of the fear of missing out.
No,
missing
but you
out,
know
yes,
what?
FOMO.
I participated in two challenges of Stephanie,
Mhm.
but the thing is, all the tasks are the same. So the
Yeah, yeah.
first time I was so excited about it. It
Yeah.
was so fun. But
Yeah,
then the
yeah.
Mhm.
second time, I already knew in
Yeah, yeah,
advance
yeah.
what the
You
task
seems
would
like,
be.
oh,
So
I already done this one.
yeah, so that's why I don't feel like motivated to
You
participate
feel that
anymore.
I'm not excited anymore because you already experienced it.
I
And
already know all the tasks,
yeah,
how
yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
be.
Definitely.
But it was great. I mean, the first time I was just
Yeah, yeah, me
passionate
too.
about it. It
I
was
had
so
a
good.
very amazing experience because I
Me too.
met you guys. Now we're still keeping
Yeah,
Great.
touch.
sure.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. It's not to brag, but we thought about it, and we, of course, we were not gonna repeat any task. This is gonna be all brand new in this challenge, this new
Mm, mm,
challenge.
mm, mm, mm.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about Stephanie if she's gonna do something different. Or she should do something different and at least a few tasks because third time in a
But
row
the
though.
other time was all the same. She already did three times, and all the three were the same.
Oh
Yeah.
So
really?
so I participated in two, but
Mhm,
then the third one I didn't want to participate anymore because I didn't
mhm,
feel like it.
Mm,
But it was great. I mean, I don't regret. It was perfect. And the first time I was really, really excited about it. It was so good because then, it was the beginning of my journey here. That's why I'm here today. I met you guys and I met some other
yeah,
people too. And so it was
mm.
incredible.
yeah.
And it has been incredible so far.
I don't regret it either. I mean, I'm not joining because there are some new tasks or something. I'm just looking for to get to know new people, to get into the
Uh-huh.
community,
Mm, mm,
because I love the challenge, but it's really sad in the end when you see like 1 week or 2 weeks after the challenge, people start to leave. People
Yeah.
they just don't care that they leave the community and then
Uh-huh.
you know. But what I want is to keep people engaged, people all the time engaged
Uh-huh.
into this process, this journey because it's great. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
yes. That's why, guys, I created this group, our group, because this is
yeah,
continuously just
great.
rotation. Now, task giver is Frank. So later on, also Frank will be our task giver. So everyone will really engage in this group. So because if you are just doing 2 weeks challenge or 30 days challenge and then finish, then you lost contact anymore with your was this your companion with you other people, guys, other challengers. But this challenge we can keep doing it as long as there are
Mm.
participants who participate, then we can keep doing it.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and it's easier then because it's just once a week, right? The test. So it's just
Right.
like Hadar's challenge.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
We still have a lot of time to do the task. 6 days. No, no, five
six
days
These
days.
Yes.
challenges are good because they gives us motivation. Because without the date, strict date, you must do the task to this date. You would procrastinate, yeah, procrastinate,
Uh-huh.
and it would be much harder to progress without the strict date. The next stage is on the Saturday. You must prepare something to
Uh-huh.
this time.
I see, I see. But it's hard to was it push someone to make
Do
video to
every day.
participate the task because we don't know their situation. Maybe they're busy or they feel they lost their motivation.
Yes,
So
they are very busy, but
mm-mm.
night is long. You can always sleep
Yeah,
Guys,
less.
you can also
there are
encourage with the other participants, with other members, because I keep encouraging to other members, but nobody encouraged me. Sometimes, guys, I feel I lose my motivation, but I feel like I don't want to do this anymore. So I try to do
oh
something different. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you need to do new things. The podcast was
You're
great.
doing your podcast.
Oh, you
Yeah, the
listen.
podcast. That's amazing. I
I
mean,
see, I see. Thank
you have
you.
to try different things every time to keep your motivation because you
Yeah.
get bored to doing all the time the same. You have to, I don't know. Then and next we're gonna see you on TikTok or something like that.
TikTok.
Yeah,
TikTok.
So one day you will become a very popular YouTuber.
YouTuber.
You will one day become a very, very popular YouTuber.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He is already
It takes a
popular.
long run.
3,000 followers. It's a lot of
Yeah,
popularity.
that's a lot of
Yeah.
people. 3,000 is a lot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Three
You,
more than 3,000.
wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the thing is, you got a lot of subscribers, but your viewers, it becomes lesser because maybe they're really busy. So some of them they're not
Yeah. That's,
don't watch my
you
some
have
of
to.
my videos.
You need to
Don't
go
worry,
viral.
in the autumn will be next wave of pandemia, so it will be more time to watch the videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
No,
think
no,
so.
no, no, no more pandemic. No more pandemic.
No more, no more.
I'm afraid of the pandemic. No
Yeah,
more. No more quarantine. No more
yeah.
But
quarantine.
yeah, but Lynn, the problem is everybody today wants to have a channel on YouTube. Like many people are doing channels. So
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
it's hard. There's so many content on the internet. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Definitely.
just need one video to go viral and then you're famous. So you
Yeah.
just have to be patient and work on
Yeah,
it
yeah.
every week,
Consistently. Just work
consistent.
continuously.
Yeah.
Keep your
Mhm.
passion. So I just keep doing it and then yeah, keep
I
uploading
followed
videos.
I followed the video. Sorry, I followed the video of Nice Kaistet, and he wasn't very popular until he decided that he would do each day new video, and he made each day new video, and after 1 year he was very popular. But it was tremendous work to do
Work,
video
yeah.
each day.
It's a lot of
Yeah. It's
work.
patience.
I
Work
admire
and
you
patience.
guys because I know it takes a lot to make one video because when we have this challenge and we have to make these videos, like simple videos,
Hmm.
we don't have to edit or anything and it takes time. So it's hard work. Well, guys,
But you can.
I need to go. Sorry,
To
Tom.
go.
I need to
Okay.
go.
Sorry.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya,
We will
Vivian. See
we
you.
will
See you
finish.
later.
I need to
Okay.
talk with
Yes.
you, Frank, later.
Yeah.
So we
Well, we'll
can,
see you next week.
yeah,
Okay.
see
Well, I
you.
see you next week. Okay. Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye.
I also
Yeah,
going
bye
to go.
bye. Vivian, thank you for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank you.
Yes, have
Bye
a good
bye.
day. Uh-huh. Also,
Regarding to
Charmaine
the editing, I
left.
must mention you, Adeline, that I trained Audacity lately because I tried to shadowing this poem which Stefani gave us, and the Audacity software is perfect for shadowing because you can import the audio file and record your own on listening to the audio, record your own and compare.
Mm-mm-mm.
You can also see the image of the voice
Uh-uh.
because there's a graphic image of your voice, so you can compare.
You know, guys,
Yeah.
in the Philippines, I used to join a lot of declamation, storytelling. So I had a lot of experience how to glide. My voice goes intonation, ups and down, the rhyming. So yes,
Mhm.
I love this one, the poem, the poem.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And the
So I
best
tried.
of all was that you had eye contact with the viewer. It's very difficult to not to be distracted from the text by looking at the camera at the same time.
Uh, glad you like it. Yes, you can do the same, Tom, for maybe next week. Another poem. You can try to shadow my version. I tried to do something different, not copying with Stephanie because I feel like the emotion of the poem it's a bit lack of emotion. So I tried to make
Mhm.
more uh, put
Mhm.
more feelings. So when the people listen to you, feel like you can feel the message of the poem.
Mhm. I have also chosen another file to shadow because I tried to shadow British accent, not American, because
Ah.
it was more appropriate for me, I
Uh.
think. And I found a very, very good recitation by English teacher, English language teacher, and I
Mm-hmm.
shadowed him.
I see, I see. Good for you. Uh-huh. How about Anastasia? Do you have any challenge or just only us?
I I have grammar course about listening, and I do special exercises every single day. It's
Uh-huh.
drives me crazy. I'm not a big fan to study grammar, but I have to do it. And I don't know, maybe yes, I joined this challenge, Frank. Yes,
Oh,
with
okay.
Christian. Yes, um,
Uh,
uh, he recommended me
Wow.
English grammar. Amazing, amazing book, right?
English
Especially for
grammar.
me. Yes.
Mhm.
He recommended me, and okay, but what tasks? Not about live video, something like this. She told me, I don't know. We will see. Do you want to join? Oh, maybe. Okay. And we I don't know. We decided to make a challenge for each other, something like this, because we usually make a calls. And yes, I think that sometimes maybe we have to find a course about pronunciation, because especially in my native language, we don't have, I'm not sure, a graphic. When I speak Russian, I don't change my mouth,
Mhm.
just this, you know. But in English, I have to open it and like so fast to change. It's difficult. After that, I look so strange. Yes, exactly. Even my relatives tell me, "Oh, what happened when you speak English? It's not you." Oh, really? Maybe we change our personality a bit. Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Because in Russian, I'm a bit serious there. Yes, and even my friends in Bulgaria told me at the beginning that you was typical Russian, without emotion, something like this. Because
Oh.
it was, yes, yes, it was catastrophe, I know, but yes, but now I hope that I a bit changed. Yes, it's when you learn foreign languages, you just find a lot of different ways, and after that to copy them and to create your personality again, your personality. I
I
think
guess.
sometimes, yes,
Yeah, I
very much
consider
so.
myself different as well in my native Spanish language than in English. I feel like I'm more open to do more things. I'm more confident in English than in Spanish.
Yes.
And to add a little bit what I was saying to Adeline, in my personal experience, I can say that I I feel the need to challenge myself to do things to go to the next level, because if I do the same all the time, I don't feel the same motivation, you know.
Yes.
Uh, and I guess we we managed to create this, to go with this challenge again, not to do the same like we did. It's pretty much, it's almost the same, but this is most focused on speaking, because there are several English learners who are lacking confidence to actually record a video of themselves and show them to others to watch. We know this because I used to be like that as well. Until recently, I really had issues with that. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And this is a great practice, a great way to practice, because you get to see your mistakes
Yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
what you can actually improve.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, and we are trying that principle. I mean, trying to do things that get you out of your comfort zone. Because if you do the time the same, you are gonna get comfortable, and we don't want you
Mhm.
get comfortable, pretty much.
I see, I
So
see.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you are all invited into this. challenge. I think Thomas is in already, right?
Yes, I have participated. Yes. I
Oh,
Great.
haven't created the initial video yet, but maybe today, maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay.
ha-
Looking forward to it.
for me, I can't promise, guys, I can join because I have so many
Yeah,
online classes. Mm-mm.
I know you're so busy. You're so busy. That's why I didn't know Adeline she's not gonna join this time because she's really busy.
I'm so overwhelming. So many tasks, so many homework online.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so yeah, the community is gonna be there. It's gonna remain.
Mhm.
Uh, the more communities there are, the better. I mean, I feel like this is like the more chances we have to participate and to practice and to speak up, better. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I love
exactly.
your community. I'm gonna stay here even
Mm-mm.
after I finish the task giver period,
Mm-mm. I
even if
also
I'm gonna be
assigned
busy with this. So, yeah.
Tom. Also, I also assigned him to be a task giver. Are
Oh,
you ready,
cool.
Tom?
Uh, after the Frank challenge will have end, I will be ready.
You'll be ready because
So
uh, after Frank, will be as this. We
Vivian,
still have a lot of time. Will be
Vivian, right?
Vivian. Yes, Vivian.
okay,
Yeah.
after Vivian, I'm ready. Okay,
Yes, yes,
it's
yes.
okay.
Okay.
And then maybe
Okay.
after you, Anastasia.
Oh my God, no, 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 no. Thanks.
Thanks.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm
Uh-huh.
fine. I don't know. No, no,
I'm
no.
not ready, so but I must. It's a must, you know. It's a going out of your comfort zone.
Mm.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, I ask you
Okay.
guys to be a task giver to make you as like a leader, practice as a leadership
yeah,
because I can give you tasks if I want, but I want you to also to become a team leader as well to make like this become a host and a huge
yeah.
conversation. So
Great.
team
So difficult to,
builder.
yeah.
How to
It's
build
not so difficult because I on the other Facebook groups in the it was in Hadar, I think, and I was in the role of task giver there. It's not so
Ah,
very
yeah.
yeah,
difficult.
I
yeah,
joined
yeah.
too.
Yeah, why not? You can share your ideas to help us to improve our English.
You can let other people talk and not don't talk yourself. It's very easy.
Yes.
Exactly.
You only ask questions
Yeah,
and
ask more
make
questions.
people to talk, and
Exactly.
you can be mute.
Yes. And if you're a
But to
task
choose
give,
interesting topic.
mm-mm.
Sorry,
and
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if you,
Of course.
yeah, yeah, guys. So I don't know if you already know, Tom, that if you're a task giver, you don't need to do the task because you're the one who give the task to the challenger.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you can be free.
it's a very comfortable situation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
guys, I have to finish this because I have another one
yeah,
30
yeah.
minutes. So
I
yeah.
think so. Me too, because it's almost 11:30 here in my time, so I need to put my daughter on the bed.
She is not sleeping yet?
Yeah, they're
Wow.
still playing with her nephew.
Oh
Last
my
night
God.
also was here, so they're still playing around. If
Okay.
I'm awake, they are still also awake. So I have to close all the lights so they can sleep. It's around,
Hmm.
yeah, almost 12 midnight now. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, guys, and thank you so much, Frank,
Thank
for
you.
this
Thank you.
task.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
Thank you,
much.
really
Adeline, and
appreciate it.
stay motivated. We love you. We want
Yeah.
more. We want more.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Of
Yeah.
course, guys. Of course, I will. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so have a good day. Have a good night,
Have a
guys.
Good
good
night.
have a good
Good
day.
Bye
night.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Yes.